Okay, hi everybody. So here is my video in response to the question, what do you do when you have a very difficult child who is tormenting his or her siblings and you want to treat this child with love and acceptance, but on the other hand, the child is, in the words of many of you, being abusive, being a bully, and hurting the other kids. And it's not a normal sibling rivalry situation where each sibling is mean to the other and it sort of all comes out even in the end, but rather one is definitely the bully and one is definitely the victim. How do you handle it? So, if normal conventional methods of parenting were working, like behavior modification or charts or rewards and consequences or praise or timeout, if any of those things would be working, then you wouldn't be asking the question. So, obviously, the normal methods aren't working. So, the very first premise of PRA is that we stop doing the things that are not working, which is a very logical thing to do. But for some reason, many of us continue to do things that aren't working because we think that we should just do them harder or more or faster or more strictly, and somehow they'll magically start to work. But that's actually not true. Continuing to use these methods when they're not working just burns out the relationship. And it is the definition of insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. What I have found to be helpful in this situation is because typically the bully, so to speak, is a child who is who's having a lot of problems in other areas of their life, and they are not successful in their relationships, in their communication skills, in their self-esteem, in their emotional regulation. So this is not a child that can be worked with head on at this moment. So instead, what you do is you work with the other kids. You work with the kids who are emotionally regulated. You work with the kids who are open to behavior modification. In other words, you work with the victim. And what you do is, instead of punishing the bully, you praise and reward the victim. And instead of giving all your attention, negative attention to the bully, you give all your positive attention to the victim. So you train the child who is the victim how to walk away from conflict, not to avoid the bully, because you don't want to victimize your child by teaching them that it's their responsibility to avoid bullying behavior, or that they have to walk on eggshells at their house, that they're somehow responsible for the outbursts of the bully. But rather, what you do is you teach them that this is a child who's emotionally dysregulated, and you've tried your hardest to modify the behavior of the bully. Again, you use whatever is age appropriate language for that child, and that it's unfortunately not working, that child cannot be changed right now. So instead, you are going to work with the victim. And what you are going to teach them is that the moment the bully starts to behave that way, you walk out. You remove yourself from the situation. You walk away from the conflict. Don't get mixed up in the drama. Don't get sucked in. And the victim should come straight to you, the parent, and report what has happened. And you, the parent, give the victim love, attention, hug, and reward the victim for walking away from the conflict. The bully cannot get anything out of the bullying if the victim continues to de-escalate the situation. Over time, this really, really does work. It also serves another amazing purpose, which is that very often the bully in this situation, who's the difficult child, ends up getting a lot of behavior modification and rewards and all kinds of attention, and the good kids, so to speak, get lost in the shuffle and do not get attention and do not get those rewards. And here you are recalibrating that situation. Excuse me. And creating a better balance where the good kid, so to speak, the kid that so often gets lost in the shuffle, is now getting much needed validation, attention, private time with a parent, and all those things are extremely useful and helpful. Hope this helps.